I can't wait to show you how to create this layout. Hi, it's Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker and Creative Memories Advisor, and welcome to the Sun-Soaked edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers. That's where my friends Debbie Martin, Nicole and I divide up one paper pack and one embellishment pack and create 6 pages for you. This month, we're getting ready to scrapbook beach pictures with the Creative Memories Sun-Soaked collection.
Here is what you'll need to complete my 2 pages. First, I have both pieces of this orange paper that we're going to use for the background. We're going to use the orange side. Next, I have this yellow paper. We're using this side. The other side for reference is this pretty coral and shells. And finally, for our photo mats, we're using this beautiful blue paper for reference. The other side are these gorgeous birds. It's a shame not to use them, but you'll see why we don't use them. Then for embellishments, I've got all of these. The embellishments are really large with sun-soaked, so I don't have that many, but this is more than enough. For tools, I'm keeping it very basic. All you need is your 12-inch trimmer and your repositionable tape runner, and most likely a pair of scissors. There's a lot going on in these pages, so I don't need to use any punches. I'm going to put these embellishments on my beautiful embellishment tray, just a nice little advisor exclusive that we had in the fall. I still got a few of these. Contact me if you were interested in these. They are so cute, but a great way to tuck your embellishments away. To make this easier, I'm going to show you somewhat in reverse how we create this sun ray. So as you can see on my nice little beautifully written graph here, I've got on this diagram, here are the rays, and you'll see what's in yellow. Okay, the rest of this is going to be orange. So we've got plenty of room for our photos. Then here is the piece of paper that I've cut the first time, and I'm going to show you how to cut this again. So if I put this back together, it's going to look like this. It's like a fun little puzzle. So look how simple this looks when you first cut it. Hopefully that's helpful because we're going to cut in half. And I'll show you how to do that. Then we're going to cut these pieces, and that requires more folding. I've never been a fan of folding because I don't like to have the bends in the paper, but we're going to cut along the fold. So you're never even going to know that it was folded. So take a look at that. That's what we're going to be going for, and I will show you how to do it. Now, because this is directional paper, we're going to have to get used to part of it's going to be upside down a little bit. And I'm okay with that. If it really does bother you, you could do this with some plain paper. If you had a piece of paper, cardstock's kind of tough because it's hard to fold cardstock. It's just too thick. But you know, the direction of this, one being upside down, one being right side up, it does not bother me. I'm going to have so many pictures on here that you're not even going to notice. Okay, let's get started. So let's move our 2 background sheets and our blue sheet that we'll be using for photo mats out of the way and deal with this guy right here. So the first thing we're going to do is take it from the top right corner down to the bottom left, down to the bottom left, and fold gently in the middle part. You don't have to do a solid crease all the way. You don't need to do that. Just kind of fold right here in the middle. Okay, but make sure these meet so that it's even. And now we're going to take your 12-inch trimmer. And so review, see what we did there. Bring from the top right down here. And if your paper's not directional, it doesn't matter which corner you start in. It won't matter too much here. So do you see how I tucked that under without folding it down here? You just kind of have to shove it under there. I watched Nicholas crawl under our refrigerator door the other day, which is about 4 inches from the ground. I can't believe that big cat can do that. So if he can do that, you can shove this paper under this little clearance right here. All right, so now I'm going to push it up to the top, the folded edge, so that it's even, and then make sure the pointy part of the triangle comes right down to, and look at that, mine comes perfectly, right down here to your cutting line. So I'm going to scoot this up so you can see a little bit better, but you see how that's pointing down towards the cutting line there? I know I'm going to have to move it again, but just want to see what we're going for there. It's that line on the left. Okay, and now I'm going to, when I get this situated again, I'm going to cut up through there. And now I've got my first 2 pieces. And because I didn't crease it all the way, the fold is just right here. There's nothing folded out there. So we really minimized the folding damage. Okay, here's the tricky part. And it's really not tricky, but I know for me as a lazy scrapbooker, this is a lot. I usually don't get this crafty, but this is a really easy way to do this. So we're going to take this bottom corner. So our paper is still, right side up. We're going to take this bottom corner and we're going to fold it to where this meets, the paper meets right here. See how that's even right there? and then we are going to crease this. We are going to put a nice crease in it because we're going to cut along the crease. But see what a beautiful fold I just did? A perfect point. Oop, I can't say that for the other side, but I'll pretend it's perfect. Looks good. So that's what we just did right there. Okay. We're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to take the top left corner and fold it the exact same way to where this comes like this. So it's even with the edge. This was so easy without being on camera. It was much easier without being filmed. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we're going to put a good crease in it. Oh, it looks like a kite. Cute. So this is what we have right here. Look familiar? Looks like what we cut. But that's a great way to get those perfect lines. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our trimmer and we're going to cut along the fold. Now your trimmer may not be long enough for this, so we may have to finish it out, and that's what the scissors are for. We cut here on the paper, and actually I think I got both pieces cut apart there. All right, wonderful. Now we're going to do the same thing with this piece right here, just cutting on the fold. And done. And again, if you can't get the whole thing cut, just use a pair of scissors to snip that edge. But it's so slight, you could probably pull it apart. Okay, I'm going to put this trimmer aside now, and look what we have here. I'm just going to arrange these. Check it out. Does it look familiar? It's exactly like the piece of paper I showed you earlier. So that wasn't too hard, was it? It's just about folding it once this way to get this cut made. You have to fold it the opposite direction to have this cut. Then you can just fold these in just like that. And you've got your 4 pieces. We're going to use 3 of them. Now let's get out our base pages, and I'm going to show you how to arrange these. Because I experimented a little bit with this to see what worked best and what looked the best. Then I sent it to Debbie and Nicole and asked them to vote on which one they liked. So I'm going to go with the one they picked, and I kind of secretly picked it as well. It just looks cleaner. And that's why we're not incorporating this piece into it. But I'm just going to use this beautiful blue for our photo mats to really make those photos pop and stand out from this sunray. I'm going to use my little diagram right here. And so we're going to piece this together. This piece is here. Don't attach it yet. And then we're skipping this piece. And this piece goes here. So this piece is going to flip upside down and go here. But that's not perfect yet. So to get this perfect, what I've done is I've scooted this up. And then I've scooted this up. So the sunray doesn't start in the lower left corner. It starts just a couple of inches above that. Now let's look at this as it was going to be in an album. Okay, I've gotten out my demo album so that you can see this a little bit better and see how it looks in an album, because you know the pages aren't exactly next to each other. There's almost an inch gap there. So this is definitely going to go up here. I'm not attaching these down, so they're kind of sticking up. And then this is going to look like it's a continuous pattern. So I'm going to do the work for you and measure this so that it makes it a little bit easier. First, let's attach this one. This is easy. And when you're doing triangles, I always like to use silicone mat so that you get that tip of the triangle. That's important. So it doesn't peel up. So we're going to put this right here at the very top edge on this right piece of paper to get it just perfect. Oops, I don't want any of that orange showing through. So as we can see here, if I position it like that, within my album, it looks really good. And it's pretty much the same thing, obviously, for pocket pages if you use those as well. Now, if I put these together, it's almost the same. It really doesn't make a huge difference. I could have just had to see that for myself. I could put it like this where it looks the same, spread apart. It's still going to be the same. So I just proved there's no need to fret over that. So I'm going to put the sample album away. But I did answer that question if it was running through your head, because it ran through mine. So let's go ahead and attach this big triangle, and notice it's going to hang off the edge, and that is okay because we're going to use our trimmer to trim that. So I'll go ahead and put the tape runner all over here. And I'm kind of pulling these apart just a little bit to make sure I get it exactly how I want it. But because these were adjacent on the page, they were cut at the exact same angle. It's perfect. We just had to turn this one upside down. But again, it is not bothering me like I thought it would. All right, lovely. And now we're going to attach this one, and this top part is going to hang off, so I really just want to focus on this part of the triangle right here. So with this one, we're just going to come down here and meet the corner there. That looks really good. Very cool. Okay, and it looks exactly like my little diagram that I drew. And the only piece that we didn't use, sorry about this one, it's wasted. If you want to use it for anything else, you can, but I really don't have a place for it on this layout, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it just as a sunray. All right, so now what we want to do is flip this over. This is my favorite part of doing stuff like this because it's so satisfying. We're going to just flip this over, and I need to attach that a little bit more. So let's come under here with some tape runner and tack that down. And so now we just need to cut off these two pieces. So I'm going to line up, use that cutting line, use your sight line here to make sure it's coming right at the edge of your page, and then trim those two pieces off. This is just extra. I'm going to throw it away. Wow, I am really happy with that. I gotta admit, that's pretty cool. So I love this. There's a lot of variations we can do with this, and I'm definitely going to make a reel or something showing some different variations. The only problem is that every picture I have from the beach of my entire life is now in a scrapbook. So I don't have anything to put on these, but I did earn the Creative Memories incentive trip for 2025, and I'll be going to a beautiful resort in Mexico in April. I'm going to save this for those pictures because I've thought about maybe I redo some of this, but I love this album. I think it looks great. I don't want to tear anything apart. And I'm a little too lazy to reprint them. So I'm going to anticipate what my photos are, and we're going to add them and the embellishments. I chose the ones with fun in the sun and a tiki bar, so I kind of know where that's going to lead me. I've done something I don't normally do, which is attach the embellishments before I've put my photos on. I wanted to make sure they were grouped in 3 little groups here, 3 focal points. So I've gone ahead and attached most of them down. I'm going to pop up a couple with foam squares, maybe 3 of them. So I've got the little tiki bar and drinks right there. Here I've got this gorgeous journaling box up here, and this bird. I don't know if there will be any birds when I'm there, but he's certainly on theme. All right, so that page is good. Now down here, I've kind of debated over this one over here. I think I'm going to, instead of putting the sun right here, because if you notice, that's a little off center. I want that sun to be directly right here where those rays are coming out from it. So what that means, it's going to hang off the page a little. And what that means is I get to trim it. So do I dare do that? I'm going to. Let me attach this one title here. I called it Fun in the Sun, but actually it's Sun-Soaked Fun. Close enough. I'm going to put it down right here on foam squares. And now, probably should have done that before I trimmed it because it's going to give it too much height. But let's take that trimmer out, and I'm going to trim off the embellishment because we can do that. And it just trimmed off part of that sunshine. So now let's see what it looks like. That's pretty cool. I hope I like it because what's done is done. So I trimmed off the sunshine here, but it looks good. It's totally anchoring that whole ray design I've got going there. Now we'll add some photos. So I always like to create designs where I'm just creating a canvas where you can put your photos wherever you like and as many as you want to. So here's just one example. I'm able to fit 7 photos on this 2-page spread, focus on the photos, but still see the cool design in the background that we've created. Now you can take this final sheet of paper that we have, and again, this will be wasted if I use this side for mats, so I'm just going to use this side for mats. So, but you can be the judge of that. It might be kind of nice to bring in some of these colors. We'll see. So now the question is, will one 12 by 12 piece of paper be enough to mat all of these photos? Well, I did the math. So a 12 by 12 piece of paper is 144 square inches. And when I add up all the square inches of all of these, adding an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, I get 146 and a little more square inches. So even if I found the most clever way to cut these, there's no way I'm matting all these. So instead, I'll just mat what I can, or put less photos, or bring in some cardstock of a complementing color. So let me mat a few of these, and we'll keep going. It will, of course, be easier once I have my photos, but I just can't wait for this trip in April. Gosh, it's only 3.5 months away now. So I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to cut another one at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to cut these for full-size photos. I could just leave them at 6 inches because usually I take digital photos and they're typically not 4x6s, but let's say I take a full-size photo. Just in case, I may have to go back and use some cardstock when I really do this page. I'll have to update you on that. These I'll do at 4 1/4, so they have my 4x4s. And this one only left me 3.5 inches, so it's really not enough to mount these 3.5 by 3.5 photos. Maybe I'll do a smaller size. You know, honestly, looking at these two choices, I kind of like this mat better. I always forget to do that. I feel like I'm not using the paper when I see this really busy paper, but maybe this is a great way to use it because there are just so many beautiful colors. I've already done these in blue and taped them down, but I do like this better. What do you think? Leave me a message in the comments to let me know which one you like best because I'm really torn between these two. I don't know what photos I'm going to have yet, of course. So just for fun, I switched out the 3.5 by 5.5s and made them 3x4s. And then I've got this small piece left. Honestly, I think I can kind of mat it like this just for fun right now. I won't commit too hard on this. Whoops. Almost committed there because I stuck it to the page. There. So it gives it a little bit extra color. Okay, what do you think? And I've left myself some room to journal using the Write On journal stickers. So I love it. I hope you have fun creating this layout.
Now hop over to Debbie and Nicole's videos to complete their layouts. You'll find the link to their videos in the description of this video. Be sure to hit like or subscribe to see all future videos, and as always, thanks for watching.